The confession mirror sat in the corner of the estate sale, price tag reading $5 with a handwritten warning card tied to its frame with twine. The card's faded ink read, "Confession glass. Do not speak secrets." I should have listened. The mirror itself was beautiful, despite its ominous label. An ornate Victorian piece with a tarnished silver frame, intricate roses carved into every inch, their petals seeming to wilt toward the glass. The mirror's surface had an unusual depth to it, like staring into dark water rather than polished glass. The estate sale was for the Whitmore house, where old Gerald Whitmore had lived alone for 40 years until the police found him 3 weeks ago. He'd been dead for days, they said, slumped in his armchair facing away from all the mirrors in his house. Every single mirror had been turned toward the wall except this one, which had been locked in the attic. I bought it anyway. I'm a collector of unusual things, and the warning only made it more appealing. That was my first mistake. I hung it in my bedroom that same afternoon, the card still dangling from its corner. My girlfriend Sarah laughed at it when she came over.
"Confess your secrets. What, like some kind of Catholic guilt trip for your bedroom?"
She stood in front of it, primping her hair.
"I secretly hate your mother's cooking,"
she announced to her reflection, grinning. Nothing happened. We both laughed. She left around midnight, and I went to bed, the mirror catching the streetlight from my window, casting strange shadows across my ceiling. For 3 days, nothing happened. The mirror was just a mirror. I almost forgot about the warning entirely. Then came Friday night. I'd been drinking, drowning my guilt about something I'd done at work. I'd let my colleague Marcus take the fall for my mistake, a mistake that cost him his job and his reputation. I'd stayed silent when I could have spoken up. The whiskey made me maudlin, made me stare at myself in that antique mirror and hate what I saw. I destroyed Marcus's life, I whispered to my reflection at 2 a.m. I let them fire him for something I did. I'm a coward. I'm a liar. My reflection stared back, eyes glistening with drunk tears. I'm a terrible person, I continued, the confession pouring out. And I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to let him suffer because I'm too much of a coward to tell the truth. For just a moment, I thought I saw my reflection smile. Not the sad, twisted grimace on my actual face, but a genuine smile, cold, satisfied. I blinked hard, decided I was too drunk, and collapsed into bed. Saturday morning, I woke with a pounding headache and a strange feeling that something was wrong. I stumbled to the bathroom, splashed water on my face, and froze. The person in the bathroom mirror wasn't quite me. The features were all there, arranged correctly, but something was off. The eyes were too bright, too alert for someone with my hangover. The smile was too wide, too knowing. I rushed back to my bedroom. The confession mirror showed someone else entirely. A thin man with hollow cheeks, and Marcus's eyes stared back at me from the Victorian frame, wearing my pajamas, standing in my room. I screamed and jumped back. The reflection didn't move the same way I did. It waved at me, slowly, deliberately. Then it pointed toward my window. I didn't want to look. Every instinct screamed at me to run, to break the mirror, to call someone. But I looked. Across the street, in my neighbor Mrs. Chen's house, I saw my own face. My real face. Pressed against her guest room window, mouth open in a silent scream, hands beating against the glass. Mrs. Chen appeared behind my face, looking confused, then frightened. She reached for my face with her face, and I realized with horror that she was looking at me, at whatever I'd become. I looked down at my hands, still my hands. I ran back to the bathroom mirror, still that wrong version of myself, eyes too bright, smile too wide. I grabbed my phone and turned on the selfie camera. The screen showed the same wrong face from the bathroom mirror. I wasn't me anymore. Whatever me was, it was trapped across the street in Mrs. Chen's house, wearing her face. I returned to the confession mirror. The hollow-cheeked man was still there, but now he was moving, mouthing words. I leaned closer and somehow I could hear him, a whisper emanating from the glass. The mirror trades secrets for faces. You confessed a stolen life. Now it steals yours, over and over. Every secret spoken becomes a transaction. I watched in horror as the face in the mirror changed. The hollow-cheeked man faded, replaced by an elderly woman I didn't recognize. then a teenage boy, then a middle-aged man with kind eyes and dried blood on his collar. They cycled faster and faster, dozens of faces, hundreds, all the people who'd confessed to this mirror over the decades. Gerald Whitmore locked it away after his wife confessed in front of it. The voices whispered, overlapping now, a chorus from the glass. 40 years he kept it locked up, turned all his other mirrors away so he wouldn't have to see what he'd become. Because he'd confessed too, years before, and the mirror had already taken him. The thing that locked the mirror away wasn't Gerald, it was wearing Gerald. I heard sirens outside. Mrs. Chen had called the police about the intruder wearing her face, about me, the real me. I looked at my borrowed face in the bathroom mirror again, watching it smile, that wrong smile. I could run. This face was convincing enough. I could disappear, become someone new, let my real face take the blame for an inexplicable break-in. I could let another innocent person suffer while I stayed silent, just like I did to Marcus. Or I could go over there. I could try to explain, though who would believe me? I could confess again, this time to the police, to real people about what I'd done to Marcus. Maybe that would break whatever curse this was. The confession mirror's surface rippled like water. In its depths, I saw Marcus's face, his real face, the day they fired him. I saw his confusion, his hurt, his anger. Then I saw my real face again, still trapped in Mrs. Chen's window, still screaming silently. The mirror was showing me a choice. Keep the stolen face and the stolen life, or confess the truth and face the consequences. Both versions of consequences. I reached for my phone and started typing an email to my boss. Subject line, the truth about Marcus. My borrowed hands trembled as I typed out my confession, the real one, to real people who could do something about it. The moment I hit send, the confession mirror cracked. Just one thin line down its center, but a crack nonetheless. I ran outside, sprinting across the street as police cars pulled up. "That's me!" I shouted, pointing at my real face in the window. "I'm in there! I stopped. How could I explain this? Mrs. Chen came outside with my real face following her, looking dazed, confused. Our eyes met across her lawn, my real face looking at the face I was wearing. In that moment, we both understood. The mirror had given me a choice, and I'd made it. I'd confessed. The police approached, hands on their weapons, trying to understand why there were two of the same person. My borrowed face began to feel strange, like a mask melting in heat. I looked down at my hands and watched them shimmer and fade. "I'm sorry," I said, though I wasn't sure who I was apologizing to anymore. The world tilted, and I felt myself being pulled backward, through space, through glass, through darkness. When I opened my eyes, I was standing in my bedroom, my real face looking back at me from the bathroom doorway. The confession mirror showed only my reflection now, normal, unchanged. The crack down its